Welcome in New York. Welcome to episode 130. I think it's been a little while for us. We got hit with the Memorial Day planning. I know my birthday always falls there. Your girl too, her birthday.
Yep.
So there were a number of things that I think.
May, June in general are just insane months.
Yeah.
For the boys. So
And it's finally nice at least. And there is a lot good going on with the club. There's like a billion different titles or headlines that you could come up with for the game that we just watched. Whether it's Alonso's hat trick, Maxi coming back, who, in my opinion, is probably the biggest club legend that we have, especially after seeing what he did in this game. And then us tying the record for wins in a row for our club all time.
Which is a far shot, I guess you would say, from maybe literally 9 games ago, when we were all sitting here like, dang, Cushion, this might be it.
It's funny how it flips from like the 5 games with no wins to like 8 games unbeaten. It's like how you could kind of narrative the ties or the draws to be what you want them to be in the situation. And yeah, even just, back in March, when it was chilly, the season was just kicking off. We're like losing 4 games in a row. It was a nightmare, and I never would have thought we'd be kind of in the position that we're in now. Is there a person in our
I don't know. What is happening? Editor, leave this in. If we end up missing.
Imagine a person comes through the roof.
I mean, it's got to be a raccoon, right?
There might be a raccoon actually making a live appearance on the show.
He's an away dog.
Wait, that's
like upstairs. Well, so yesterday, when I walked out to my car to go get something from my car, there was a raccoon charging me.
I don't know that it's on.
If this was like Ghost Adventures, we'd be like footsteps upstairs.
Oh, God. I don't see an animal. But it stopped for me coming up here.
Yeah.
So it might be up there.
It's like right in this corner.
I mean, that's on brand. Raccoon. Possible raccoon in the studio is fully on brand for the team right now.
That is insane.
I mean, it's possible. I went up there to check it out, and the noises stopped. And now I'm down and they're back.
I mean, I don't know that I can go forward. It's a genuine speech jammer, because every time I start talking,
Hearing
I'm like,
it? I mean, it's active.
It could be the people on the other side just like storing shit.
It's possible. It's probably an animal. It's probably a raccoon.
I'm a professional. We
can pretend. If the listeners can't hear it, then I think we can get through it.
I think we can try.
We can try.
All right. Well, getting back into, I guess, what we were just saying, it's a completely different vibe, and like you said, you can kind of read into the draws however you want. Whether that's a positive thing or a negative thing. I think if you're leaving with more than 0 points, it's a positive thing. Obviously, there's the whole narrative of, was it a win that turned into a draw? Felt like a loss.
And I feel like the difference between now and then is we're kind of starting to win these games that you don't necessarily feel totally comfortable or totally positive going into them. New England approaching that game, all of Twitter and all of media and Instagram, it was like throwing around the words like a trap game. Like, this is a trap game. We're going to go there against a team that, is pretty banged up, but otherwise we have history with. They can be scrappy at times. They have players that can make impacts, that can kind of take a game over by themselves in Carlos Hill and stuff like that. Yeah. So lucky to get out of it alive. I think Tavon playing that ball to Keaton was sort of a magical moment, and that gave us the momentum to go on and win that game. I think after that point, there really wasn't any worry that we weren't going to get out of there with all 3, and then we come to this San Jose game. I feel personally, and it's kind of 2020 vision to look back on it now, but I didn't feel as worried about that game as I felt a lot of people did after what we saw in New England. I think even Cush, after the New England game, he came out and in the presser, he was like, "We sucked today. Like, we got away with a win. I don't know how we did it. Like, the players did not follow game plan. We were trying to keep Hill out of the game, and he was like kind of running amok, aside from scoring or creating an opportunity." And I just saw that as a speech from Cushing that he wasn't going to allow something like that to happen again, because he had picked up on the issues that had happened on the field. and was going to, get into training and make sure that we were going into San Jose like fully focused and locked in.
Yeah, which is difficult to do, to be fair. It's difficult to just inspire people to do something rather than, just kind of try to tell them to do something and hope that it happens. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like this sense of confidence that I have in this team now as opposed to 9-10 games ago, it's just a completely different feeling that I have. I think it's back. I don't want to say it's back to the feeling of like, okay, we're going into a game, we should win these games. But the team over the last 8 games has just proven that they at least have had the ability to overcome whatever has happened in a game. With the exception of, I think it was one game that we lost.
I think we tied.
Or drew.
Yeah, we drew.
Adversity isn't really facing this team at the moment.
No, it's not. And pivoting kind of to the whole Maxi'S situation, I think a lot of us probably weren't aware until game time when the club is throwing up pictures of his jersey and creating kind of a whole spectacle about the legend returning.
Yep.
And that alone, it's like when teams go on and they win championships because somebody announced that they're retiring, like in football and stuff. They probably all week in training knew that Maxi was going to get minutes, and I'm sure that brought a different dynamic to approaching the game and wanting to make sure that they're doing something for him that like we as fans were all completely ignorant to. Like we had no clue. Yeah. So I think that alone, despite how San Jose started, probably spurred the players on, because once Maxi was on the field, it's like he's a new man. I think we were talking while we were watching the game, he is playing, I think, beyond the level that he played when he was with us prior.
Yeah, genuinely.
It seemed incredible.
It seemed like the rest that he got for the legs also reset the mind and just reignited whatever. Confirm not a person.
It's running.
Confirm not a person.
From that corner to that corner. It's actually running laps. It's actually training for. It's decided not to take the bye week off. The raccoon. He's shipped Mija down to Florida, I think, and Keaton's in like Maldives, and everybody's taking off, and the raccoon is running laps.
So I think that honestly is the only thing that may kind of turn the tides of the team, is not being together, not having those training sessions every day.
Yeah,
that could genuinely be the thing that we've known historically. NYCFC coming out of even small breaks, end up coming out really, really flat.
Yeah, we typically do fall flat, and not to allow the raccoon to derail us so much, but I think you were riffing on Maxi. And
yeah, so just his mind, his legs are reset. It's reignited, the flame that carried us honestly to a chip in 2021. You just see the way that he controls a team. We've given a lot of flowers to Santi, and rightfully so. But the way that Maxi can kind of come in, take over a game, it was truly insane to watch. At that point, we had the Hannes goal. Immediately, San Jose come back and get one back.
Yep.
And then nothing. And then you drop Maxi in the game, and it explodes for 4 more goals.
Right. Yeah, no, it's at his age and coming off the injury tied with the age, it was just impressive. And Alonso goes on to assume the role of a 2021 Tati, potentially more clinical, or playing at least as Tati did on his best day, to score, I think, the fastest hat trick definitely in club history.
Yeah. And I think it's only like the 3rd or 4th.
For MLS?
For NYCFC ever.
Oh, 3rd or 4th hat trick of all time.
Because there was, Lampard was the first, Villa had one.
I was at
Tati had 4.
Real, yeah.
Against Real?
Salt Lake.
Salt Lake.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah. I should have really. I don't know that they deserve the Real tag. Actually,
I was like, I'm pretty sure we're watching that like on Twitter.
Yeah.
But those are the only 3 that I can think of, and then his would be the 4th.
Yeah.
So you're looking at it like literally an all-time performance. He also scored more goals in 10 minutes than Moonstef and Jovan have scored all season.
Right, and he also has tied the goal leader last season last season we had 2 players at 6 goals. I believe it was Santi and Tales tied for the whole year.
Yep.
I don't know how many minutes Alonso has this season.
Not many.
I think he started 1 game, and other than that, what has he had? 3 to 4 sub appearances.
Yep.
So to have 6 goals and to be tying the goal leader of the club last season, it's honestly a rare form. And I think, it's hard because he has had Maxi, and Jovan and Baki have not had that yet.
Right.
And the other special thing about Maxi is just his ability to make the players around him better.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that he made Alonso look in Santi, this is crazy. The way that he can kind of work to make the players around him look better, whether that's dragging defenders, because teams now, they must be like scared.
I would be.
If he was put on the field, I would be terrified.
Yeah.
And that'll only help us, because now they're going to be dedicating players or dedicating systems. Like, he becomes the guy that other teams are game planning for.
Right.
And we've talked about how we haven't always had that person. Like, we don't have the Carlos Hill or the Mukhtar or the Cucho, where like the opposing manager is coming in like, we need to take him out of the game. And Santi's been close, and I think there's arguments that Hannes at a point have been close as well. But Maxi is surely going to be that guy that other managers are like, we need to place a guy on him, and that will free it up for everybody else.
Yeah, definitely. And I just think like Maxi at full fitness, you get Maxi, Hannes, Santi fresh on the field at the same time, and you pick between, Munsef, Jovan, and Alonso.
Disrespectful.
I've got post-cardio brain right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Alonso, and you're kind of just picking your poison up there. I think Alonso's going to be the most productive in terms of scoring. Munsef's going to be the most effective in terms of stretching the back line, being an option of somebody who's creating from the 9 position. And Jovan's just
isn't worth putting on.
Jovan's there if nobody else can run.
Yeah. There's not much to write home about Jovan, and Baki got the start against New England because 1 goal, I guess, was enough to prove to Kush that he was worth running for 70 minutes, which is fair. He wasn't able to do anything. And then Jovan got the start for San Jose, and he kind of added to... he made San Jose at the start kind of feel like a trap game, especially after the frustration coming out of New England when he misses that header in the first 2 minutes. I think a lot of us kind of experience PTSD at moments. When Jovan misses that and Hannes scores, but then they go and equalize immediately. You see people start throwing up in group chats with, Cushing ball's back. I can't believe, why would he allow this or this or this, like whatever had happened at the moment. And then little do they know, half an hour later, we score 5 goals. So I think, the fan base feels a bit delicate at the moment, definitely experiencing a bit of PTSD, and that's what I felt when Jovan misses that. I'm like, oh no, it's one of those games that we've just become way too accustomed to over the last 2 years. But as it stands, things are on the up and up right now. We are probably the hottest team in MLS.
100%. And I think there's a lot of people who are waiting for the magic to end. I think there's a lot of people who are like, oh, wow, that's really cool. New York's doing all of these great things, and they're the hottest team right now. But secretly, in the back of their mind, they're like, okay, so San Jose, surely that's the game where it stops.
I was doing that, honestly.
I've kind of just been riding the vibes.
I have to say, so when it was with the New England game, I think that was us going for our 4th win in a row, which we hadn't done since 2022. And I did ultimately end up putting money on us to win. Yep. But I am falling into that mindset, okay, we've won 8 out of our last 9. It can't keep going. It can't. Yeah. We've won 3 in a row. We cannot beat New England. We just can't. Or, now we beat New England. We can't beat San Jose. And that is the question. When is the magic going to end? And I think a lot of people might be gearing up for it to end against tougher games, kind of like Columbus upcoming after the international break. But I would want to lean on rivalry week. We took apart Toronto at their place, Philly at their place, and Red Bulls at their place, all within 7 days.
That's exactly the reason why
insane.
That's why I didn't question. After that happened, I was like, okay, this team...
serious.
this team can mentally check in and tap in, that exists. I'm gonna be the one that trusts them in each game. And to be fair, that's setting me up for failure because I'm putting them in a position to let me down. Whereas before, I was going in expecting like, okay, we're gonna play bad, probably gonna give up some goals, and we're gonna end up either tying or losing.
Right.
So at that point, your expectations can never really be let down. If you win, it's above expectation. And now they've wrote me in. Now they got me at a point where I'm like, all right, now I trust you. Like, I know you can tap in. I'm expecting you to play at a level to at least not concede a bunch of goals, to not make stupid errors, to at least threaten the goal. Now I'm invested in you emotionally every game. You have the opportunity to let me down.
Yeah. And I think, it's deeper too than if we were to go into a little bit of a slump. Like seasons are long and stuff like that happens. And this period kind of allows Cushing and the management team and even the players to lean on that, like they have this in their bag. If things get bad, like we can think back to like we were able to do this at some point. Right. And I think, maybe gearing up for the playoffs in the future, I would expect we probably do go through some kind of slump, whether that's, a handful of losses with draws mixed in and maybe a win here and there for like a month or two, whether that's coming off of a Leagues Cup break or even international break now. We've long been slow off breaks, so I wouldn't be surprised. And I think you were right when you started to talk about it after we were so rudely interrupted by a raccoon that's still building a base up there.
Who knows?
I have no clue.
The fact that, this, just to give some context, this is our garage that
right.
was converted into a unit, an apartment, something by somebody who may or may not dabble in the dark arts of white substances. Any art you can think of. There's no guarantee that the outside of this has been weatherproofed, animal-proofed, sealed at all in any way. We have honestly, there's no proof of that.
I would take it a step further and say there's no guarantee, like it doesn't collapse on us mid-episode one day.
It's possible, honestly.
And the worst part is that the footage would be most likely destroyed at the same time.
That would be the worst part.
That would potentially be the big eclipsing even the NYCFC community viral moment.
Or even if it for some reason burned down and we were in here and this footage was safe.
Yeah.
Like both of our girlfriends would just be concerned about us and not the footage.
Right.
Which is the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, although I was going to say our ghosts would be very concerned about the footage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No idea where we were.
What the hell were we talking about?
Could be anything. Just coming out of breaks.
Yeah, just kind of traditionally bad coming out of breaks. And so I thought you were right. You started to talk about it before we were interrupted. That's kind of reworking the steps here. You were talking about how maybe everybody kind of having that international break and splitting up from each other might be the catalyst that could kick off a little bit of a down spell, mixed with a tough result like Columbus, who is coming off a CCL final. Obviously, they didn't win, and there was a mixture of issues that caused that to happen. Yeah. And I assume in 2 weeks from now they'll be healthy. And Wilfred Nancy is obviously a very well-respected coach, and I think probably one of the better ones in the league. So it's possible. It's possible we lose a little bit of that cohesion that we have right now.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, my message to the boys would just be, even if you do go on to lose, your first game back and it's not exactly the way that it was, I don't think that little speed bump is enough to derail all of the momentum of 8-9 straight games where you've put in solid performances, you've been checked in mentally. I know a sunburn might disrupt the brain a little bit, but, win, lose, draw, that first game back, it's still, you're looking at 10 games where you've maybe lost or drawn 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And that's not, you can't let that derail the season. Right.
Yeah. No, that's accurate. And I hope those are the same words that Cushing gave them before the break. Right. And he'll echo kind of after the break as well. He's kind of been in his bag as well this entire stretch. And your manager has to be. For you to win 8 out of 9 games, like, your manager has to be locked in. I think he's gotten 2 Team of the Week manager placements over the course of this. His subs have been all but flawless. There's probably a few that you could nitpick over the course of these 2 months. But aside from that, like, he is pretty locked in. And even in his press conferences, I think he's been a bit less of the corporate Nick that we have talked about for the last year. I think
he'll do that.
And he could fall back into it too. And Nick, don't let falling back into a slump
allow you to
keep you from getting back to the Nick that we love and that comes on the presser after the New England game and said, we sucked out there. We didn't follow the game plan.
Yep.
I don't know why the players were like that. And then you come out and get a big win at home against the San Jose. So I'm pretty much I think the Philly, Toronto, Red Bull stretch was enough for me to be like, all right, you've probably, barring like the world ending, you've probably got the reins through the end of the season.
Yeah.
And like, we need to see, like, there needs to be a pretty considerable playoff run. But at this point, I'm pretty confident with him in the role and what we've seen from him. So I'm happy that it's turned around. I think we were, we always kind of respected him as a person, especially in the conversations that we've had with him. And we definitely got to a point where it was like, you have to do something at some point if like results are not going to turn around. But I'm happy that they finally flipped and that we stuck with him too, because there is a bit of team building and I think even man building for Cushing and also for the players, especially some of the star players that have now kind of been through the ringer. That is needed. Like, you need that adversity in order to be like a good team, a good organization. So
and I think I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure we said, he would need to lose or draw like 10 games in a row or something like that. Yeah. That was pretty much and I think that's still the same. Like, if he went and lost 10 games in a row,
that would be the world ending. Yeah.
That wouldn't, obviously there would be no argument to not do something about that. Mm-hmm. Do I see that happening with this team currently? I don't think that's possible.
We only got better. I mean, the league is... The league is... Consider the league on notice.
The league is on notice, but the league...
That the little genius...
The league this season... Back. Like, for us to be doing this season with the league in the state that it is, I feel like this is the best MLS that we've ever seen. Mm. And this is one of the best NYCFC runs we've ever seen. Wow, that's... Like, both are true at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And the East has always... in my opinion, been a lot stronger than the West as a whole.
West is always top heavy.
Yeah, well, you have like your LA and your Seattle and whatever other team decides to matter. Something just fell out of the ceiling. I'm not even lying. Right there, right next to the heater. So it actually might come down on us. We might be episodes away from that.
Yeah, we got to get on Zillow, bro. We got to get on Zillow.
So that's about it. I feel like the last thing that I wanted to make a point to highlight was to just have a little conversation about O'Toole going down, Thiago going down, and then kind of the performance from their replacements. Yeah. So I think maybe start with Thiago, because it'd be a bit more negative than talking about Tavon replacing Kevin O'Toole. Yeah.
Tana.
Thank God. I don't remember who asked him after the game. But Thiago, I think it was Hudson River Blue, Thiago said he's good. He's not missing time, which is amazing because Tana is essentially just like a bruiser center back, I guess. Like, he's just gonna,
not even really.
He's just going to kill you, really. And like,
he's a bronze.
I don't know. I don't
even want to be messed up. Like, I don't even know if he's a good dude, honestly. I've never met him. So I can't even say.
Actually, all we know about him
is that he's fought two people.
Is him chasing down Insigne.
Yeah.
But potentially to defend Cushing, because Insigne was jawing at Cush. So kind of fair. Otherwise, headbutting Sean Johnson in the head.
True.
So we're kind of 50-50 at this point.
I can't in good faith say that he's a good dude. If he
I'm sure he is.
Come meet me at the next presser that we're at. And you'll tell me that you're a great dude, and we'll, but I have no clue, and I am not putting my reputation on that, because it could literally come out that he's the worst guy.
Yeah.
And I can't really say
feel like he's probably a cool guy.
He's probably cool.
Yeah.
He's definitely like a team player mentally.
I think, and honestly, this could be crazy to say, I think he was just brought in to be a older force for Jovan and Midja to lean on.
Okay.
From like their kind of culture and the countries around them and speaking the same language. And we talked about this in the preseason that like now Micha's not alone. Like he has kind of a little community, and you see like Micha and Jovan are attached to each other.
Yeah.
And all the bleach came early this season. We haven't even gotten a chance to talk about that. Usually it's like August is bleach time when we're getting ready for the playoffs, and I guess it's the first time we've had Serbians, but it's never attacked the Serbians. Typically, it's the Americans, Jason, O'Toole.
Or the Argentinians.
They all love... I'm surprised
Jason's American, but apparently he's Argentinian too.
He is Argentinian too, yeah. That's why he was so badly trying to get that Messi jersey after that game, but Santi had to piss Messi off. Yeah. So I think we'll probably see... That should have been one of our over-under lines. How many bleach attacks will there be?
I wonder, we should do like a mid-season update on that, where we're at with all of that, all the predictions.
I think we're probably good because we stood Santi up as being the guy.
We stood on Santi business.
I don't know that Maxi's going to allow him to hit, what did we say, 19, 16?
Goal contributions?
Goal and assists.
He's going to have to do it with goals because those assists are going somewhere else.
But roping it back to Kevin O'Toole going down, this has been like the boogeyman moment that all of us have had in the back of our head. And we're like, hopefully, we're just going to put it out of mind. We're going to pretend it doesn't exist. And like it actually happened. And Cushing dealt with it as perfectly as you could. We were watching the game, and you were like, oh, Kevin O'Toole's down, so Tavon goes to the left, and Micha comes in. Subs are made. It's like you made the call to the bullpen. And you were like, Cush, do it. And he did it.
This is exactly what we need to do.
So he's in his bag. Tavon has been incredible.
Yeah. Just like a true team guy. You know, I think anyone with a professional position that gets a run of games that is kind of expected, like that is your position, to then be displaced for a few games from Micha. Between this year and last year. Yeah, like a lot of games, you're losing a lot of games to this guy. You know, to be able to come in and not only back him up in some games. I mean, there's some games where he started. There's other games where he came in as a sub. But then also to, you know, have it within you to come in, play left back, which you've done one time for Jamaica, and that's really it. You know, and to have a good performance going forward. To me, I think it showed a lot of character, a lot of hustle, a lot of grit to be able to do that, and a lot of respect for his teammates, because ultimately he's thinking one thing, and that's, I want this team to win regardless, and that's, to me, that's dope. Yeah,
and he's developed his attacking ability, and even he's gotten better defensively. Honestly, that's kind of where he's been most impressive. But he has added attacking to his game. He now has 2 assists in 3-4 games, which is something we would have begged for 2 years ago.
Right.
Like Tavon being able to join an attack was not something that existed in 2022. 2021, like he was so locked in on defense that it didn't matter.
Right.
That he basically had like a wooden peg as a leg when he was crossing the ball in New England Conference Final. So credit to him and credit to the team as well that has kind of helped him develop that skill. And I'm sure Alenic has been a big part of that. I think they've probably given each other parts of their game because they're opposites in their role. So in my opinion, Tavon has that role locked down. He is so beyond just the vibes guy. Like he is the regen, not the Tinnerholm regen, but like he is the right back incumbent, and he has kind of fulfilled our desires for a player in that role. Yeah, definitely. And I've got nothing. He's a dude. He's a guy. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I hope Maxi minutes keep increasing. I'm sure he's on some kind of a limit, and it's funny. You would think Cushing probably only allowed him like 15, and then we got 10 minutes of stoppage time. Yeah. And like he didn't slow down. Yeah. No. So he appears to be ready to go. This is obviously also being treated much different than Tales. So I'm unsure if that means Tales' injury is worse or he's not where he needs to be. I wanted to say like kind of 2 minutes on that. It's like I
I don't want to say I'm more concerned about Talles coming back into this team.
Ever again.
But no, like, I think that would... No, I don't want to say that. But
okay. I thought you were going the route like he's probably not on the team after summer transfer window.
Well, yeah, and I think that'd be not in a messed up way, but I think that's a positive thing. Like, I don't know that he really fits into the way that this team is playing right now. And I don't think there's any world where I would disrupt what Hannes is doing, what Santi is doing, what Alonso is doing. I mean, if the choice is I'm going to start Jovan or Talles, it's Talles,
right?
And you're kind of gambling that. But like if it's Talles or Munsef, it's Munsef. If it's Talles or Alonso, it's Alonso.
Our best 11 is so difficult with Maxi back because you have to move Santi to left wing because you can't not have
or
Santi.
right wing, whatever.
Yeah, and then Hannes.
Right.
You have to have Santi and Hannes on the wings,
Right.
however, whatever way they want to cut it up. Because you cannot have Santi not playing, not only because he's Santi and he's in the form that he's in, because he's also a DP. Just like money-wise, the front office is not going to... Santi's contract might not allow him to not be playing a specific amount of minutes every game. So it makes it interesting. But
the thing is, like, there's no guarantee that the Talles that you're getting is going to be the one from the flashes that you've seen, and not just the ones that you've seen for actual big chunks of minutes for NYCFC.
It is hard to ignore the flashes, though.
I know.
When you were saying I was like, but imagine if he's him. Imagine if he locks in for long term.
If he were to lock in, but then again, he's
the face of the team.
He doesn't like playing striker. So then what are you running?
He has to.
Are you running Santi false nine just to give Talles left wing?
I know, but then you're taking opportunity away from Baki, Alonso.
Right. It's the alternative and what would probably happen is that you're running Maxi and like Keaton or Maxi and Sands in the midfield, and then you're running Santi, Talles, Alonso, Hannes.
I don't know.
But
the recurring thing on this show is that we do not envy Cushing's position.
No.
Trying to find.
But then there's every single day that I'm like, okay, I see a lineup drop, and I'm like, bro, I can make a better lineup than that.
Not for a while, though.
Not for a while.
He's locked in.
I don't know. Nah, I mean, when he starts Jovan, like that's kind of.
I was gonna say when he starts Ojeda, it's kind of crazy to be doing that.
And those are or I don't know. There's some subs. Like I think of the Ted Lasso scene where. He substitutes his best player at like the 44th minute, and everyone's like, "No, you bellend!" And then that dude ends up scoring the game winner. And that's kind of been Cushing for the past couple of games.
He's locked in.
He's tapped in, and he's seeing the field in a different way. So,
yeah, I'm interested to keep. There's a lot of storylines to keep an eye on. Alonso staying hot.
Whether or not Talles ever plays for us again.
Yeah, I would love to see what Maxi can do with Ibaki. We've all been teasing when Maxi was announced, like the Batman and Spider-Man collab of Maxi and Baki, and obviously it's taken on a mind of its own since then with the roller coaster, really just the downwards roller coaster that Baki's experienced with the slight uphill for a game. But that'll be interesting to watch, seeing if Jovan can find his leg at any point. Maybe there's a moment where he becomes the striker for a few games because he can lock in.
Yeah.
So
I wonder.
It's exciting. It's fun to watch games again. And you've said this for a few episodes now. That is probably the most important thing.
That's the biggest win for us this year. Is that it's actually fun. We actually have hope going into games.
Skin in the game, yeah.
This is completely random, and I'm not going to spend much time on it.
All right.
I think it would be cool and funny, or would it not be? Actually, let me ask you, because it's funny. would it be cool or funny if we got Munsef to hit the Tati celebration if he scored?
It'd be cool.
Or would it be kind of lame?
No, it'd be cool. It was cool when Hebert did it, but he knew him.
Yeah.
But I think it'd still be cool.
But he'd have to score a couple. He'd have to score a brace.
Yeah, you can't do it on your first one and then not score.
It has to be a brace or a hat trick.
That celebration has to be held in high regard.
It would actually be cooler for Maxi to hit it.
Yes.
It would have to be way cooler.
I did want to talk about that one moment. It was like probably the first standout moment for me from Maxi when it looked like he was playing off on the left for a little while when he first came in, and I thought Cushing maybe was like, we're letting Santi steer this ship. He has your number. He has your spot in the lineup, and you're on the left, Maxi. And he comes in from that left side, and he drops the center back, and then he cuts, and he shot far post to go side netting. When that ball was in flight, the feeling that I had in my chest, in my mind, was in a different universe. Like, if that had tucked side netting far post, like, I probably would have immediately opened FanDuel and bet us to win the cup. Like, I probably would have. That was like, that kind of encapsulated the next 25 minutes that we saw from him. But yeah, his mind has developed, I think, while his legs have rested. For sure. In a crazy way.
And he's got new inspiration. And is there comeback player of the year in the MLS? Like, is that a thing?
I'm pretty sure.
Or like...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Comeback player?
Because didn't we have a player last year that was up for it? I thought we did.
Well, would that be like Sands?
I think.
And like
it actually might have been Sands.
Was the meme like all he did was like go to another league and come back? All he did, he was just asked for.
I mean, you can say anything. I'll just agree with you.
Let me. I'll try to find out.
But I'm pretty sure there is. He seems to be making a case, and it's been 20 minutes. We have to say that it's been 20 minutes.
Comeback player of the year, established 2000.
Yeah.
2000? Yeah, the winner last year was Alan Pulido.
I wonder who our nominee was.
I don't know that we had one. It says Miles Robinson because he tore his ACL.
Nah, remember
Paulo.
Remember like Tavon.
Or did we have like team awards and our team award was Sands comeback player?
I think every team in the league gets to nominate one player for every award. So we had like... Wasn't like Santi nominated for MVP with like 6 goals, and we're like, this is a joke. Like, this is a joke that it's doing it this way.
Yeah.
So like, I don't remember who it must have been. Sands.
We'll have to find out. But
yeah. So that's 130.
Which, funny enough, we did say that probably 15 minutes ago that was the episode. This is officially the episode, and we're gonna go try to find a raccoon.
Baby. Yeah. And I think we missed it last episode and maybe the episode before giving a comment word. So I wore this hat, and we're just gonna say the word is Ironbirds.
Go Crabs.
For our boy. Go Crabs. Well, they're Ironbirds.
Go Crabs, not get Crabs.
They're Ironbirds, though.
But that team.
I mean, this is a deep cut.
That is a deep cut.
How many people have this hat?
How many people have this hat?
4.
That shit wrapped.
4.
Wrapped.
4. I will say, if we score in a media game, not to just say media game, but we're hitting the Tati Selly, and it will be cool. It won't be funny. It will be cool. I mean, I'm
not like it will literally be the meme. If I scored, it would literally be the meme where he's like, he pulled out every celebration. I'll be sitting there going,
Bro's just mashing emotes. D-pad left, D-pad right.
Yeah,
D-pad.
no, I think it was Lingard. Lingard scored and he did like 4 celebrations, and they were like, nah, he knows he's not scoring again, so he emptied the clip.
No, see, my toxic brain is like, well, I'll probably score at least 3. So I'll just split them up. Like, I'll just save it for the hat trick. This one will be the hat trick. This one will be the brace. That's what my brain does.
I'm emptying the clip. I'm hitting everything.
And hopefully the pod is looking generally overall a bit thinner. I think we've been on our shit.
Yeah, we've been
running soccer at the park endlessly.
My legs are so shot right now.
Yeah, I mean, we did it before this, and I think this was the first session where we stopped early ever.
We stopped
over
early.
The course of the last 3 months.
So we typically play for about an hour, and then we hit. What?
Do we owe? We didn't. So to leave the field, you have to pay the lap tax, which is running a lap around the field. And now I'm wondering. It's occurring to me for the first time that we left early and decided not to do the lap today. If the lap tax accrues, like taxes.
Oh, like we need 2 laps?
Like if the IRS is coming for us on Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. If the IRS is like not sending a letter on Wednesday, like, brother, we didn't get our lap on Monday.
We need 2 laps? Or lap and 2 suicides?
I don't know.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know if the legs allow it.
Oh, God. But no, we spent an hour playing, whether that's passing, shooting,
been more
running around, and then we run a lap.
Yeah. It's been good for us.
It's been good.
Good for
We're
the health.
Probably
hopefully gearing up for the aforementioned.
not the best
game.
shape of our lives, but definitely the best shape of the last 2 years.
Yeah, so that the brace and the hat tricks can happen.
Oh, nah, and we got that dog in us because we
did run twos.
We did run 2v2s
against kids that potentially.
Either freshmen in college or high school.
I was going to say
seniors.
it kind of ages us if I say they were 10 years younger than us.
They were probably 10 years younger than us.
Yeah, and they got smoked. Not smoked. That's a bit rude, but we did have to
We were
score
running
2
triangles
golden
around
goals
them.
against them,
Yeah, that was
which
weird
was a
too.
bit cheese. But we won, so that's probably first cup for the pod.
Big dub.
There it is, imaginary cup, and that's also 130. Kind of a milestone number, not really, because
130.
But it is a solid number that sounds nice.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I don't know, we'll get to 1,030 at some point. Many years from now when we have
40?
our... What?
We'll be 40?
When we get our...
No, 130. If we're doing like weekly, that's 10:30. I mean, no,
It's far from now.
I don't think we're making 1,000. We have to do 2-a-days for a while.
Yeah.
And stop missing the summer.
Let's stop missing the summer and not take international breaks off. And we will be taking this international break.
We are 100% taking the international off.
Yeah, unless somebody comes to us and they're like, hey, I'm trying to do an episode. Yeah. I don't think we're going to be reaching out because this is very much going to be a break for us, even though we just took a Memorial Day break.
I know, but it's a break, but it's not because we're grinding behind the scenes to like give better content, to do better, so.
It is true. And the Twitter's never taken off. So.
No, that's a 20. That's called 7-Eleven. It's always open.
I mean, it'll be like 4 a.m. and I'll be like refreshing to see.
Which I went to a 7-Eleven that said it was 24/7. Turns out not open.
Yeah.
All I wanted to do was go in there and get some protein milk.
I'm pretty sure COVID cooked 24/7 stuff.
Literally, the door. I'm looking at the door. It says open 24 hours. I pull the door, look inside.
Locked, lights
there's
off.
just a dude by the pizza stand. Like, I ain't opening that door. So
Nah, you know what that is. We've been there. We've been in those retail jobs.
yeah, it's fair.
Yeah,
he didn't want to deal with that. That's fair.
He did not want to deal with your ass.
The Taco Bell over there. Now we're actually speaking Japanese at this point. But the Taco Bell down on Washington,
Yeah.
they were forced by their corporate to put up a sign that says their drive-thru is open because they turned off the lights to pretend they were closed so many times.
And that could be rude. I don't know if that says more about the Taco Bell or you.
That I know.
That you know that. That you know that, or that you noticed that information.
I did notice it.
Yeah.
1:30.
That's all I got to say. I don't have nothing else to say.
The chair's stressed, brother. That creaking was your chair. Well, we will see you guys in the next one.
131.
Follow us anywhere that you get a podcast. You can follow us on Twitter. That's the best place to connect with us. If you are here, go ahead and throw up Iron Birds in the comments. Go Birds, go Crabs. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah. Peace.
Peace.